Hey, good morning, guys. It's Alex with Scrambling Dads podcast. Just want to say thank you for tuning in and listening and supporting us. Jason and I really enjoyed doing these podcasts and giving you some of this content. Did just want to say this last episode, we were pretty low on energy. Jason's coming off of a pretty decently long travel stint out in California to help his daughter move, see some family. His youngest got a little stomach bug. Jason got the stomach bug. So a lot of just tired, exhaustion, fatigue from his side. My side, I'm coming off a pretty bad sinus infection. So you can see I, mute or trying to cover up my cough and a lot of the conversation as I'm trying to clear my throat just so I can talk. And, we thought about not releasing and publishing this episode, but then we thought it was pretty important to go ahead and do it because it shows the real us. It shows the struggles that we're all going to go through as we raise families and, we get sick and we have exhaustion. We have other duties. So, it was important that we thought we'd still release it anyways. So we hope you find some enjoyment out of it regardless. And we really do appreciate the support. We hope you enjoy. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Scrambling Dads podcast here. Today, we're going to be kind of just recapping our weeks. Jason's been enjoying the great state of California and the weather out there and seeing that it's daylight where I'm here nice at night. Kind of recapping our last episode. Hopefully everyone's listened to our conversation with Mike, the tailor-made fitter. A lot of interesting information, and that's a conversation that'll probably continue. There's a lot we didn't talk about there, so I'm sure we'll have him back. And then, we're going to bring in some course etiquette 101. There's a lot of new golfers out there, and I think it makes sense to help teach them. Not everyone was brought up in the golf world by a trainer or coach, a father, a family member. So there's a lot of just etiquette 101 that we'd love to pass down, make it more fun for everyone. So Jason, tell us what's going on, man. Tell us about your week. I know it's been long for you.
Oh man, it has been grueling. Let's see. I mean, gosh, I know we talked with Mike, but that episode was really just all about getting about the equipment and the fitting. So on my side of things, yeah, I flew out last Monday, super early, like 4 a.m., wake up, flight out to San Diego, and then at that point had to load up my rental car with stuff because I'm helping my oldest move out. So I've got boxes and stuff loaded up, drive about 30 minutes, go play and relatively hot weather and go play around. Not the best round, but again, some of the things that we're going to talk about here came to light about course etiquette, which kind of put a damper on the experience a little bit. And then after that, a long day that we went back to her new apartment, unloaded, had to do a bunch of shopping, didn't get finished till 10 p.m., something like that. Me coming off jet lag a little bit. And then Tuesday, I was really excited about. Tuesday, I got to sleep in a little bit and then went to go play a course that I was able to find through other golf influencers. And it's a place called Madeiras. And gosh, when I tell you, if you get an opportunity to play this course, pay the fee. It is phenomenal. Everything is pristine. I was going out there just like, again, have fun, just enjoy it. Again, it could be who you play with changes your game a little bit. The stat that really dumbfounded me that I was just like blown away for the type of course that it is, nothing was flat except for the tee box. Very hilly, very terrain. Surprisingly, I hit 71% of the fairways.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's really good.
Yeah, but this is where the other side of it comes. Only 28% of the greens in reg.
What types of greens? I mean, were these like elevated turtleback greens or what was making it so hard for you to hit?
I think some of them were very small. They were small, or very turtle-backed, a couple of them. This course definitely had its teeth. But when I hit, this is the nice thing I enjoy about playing California over Texas in most courses, is even a simple wedge or a chip, like with some distance, will hold or even plug the green, like ball mark the green.
Just a lot softer.
Very soft. And yeah, when I miss it, it's like it's just off a little bit. And so these are things that, again, I think talk with Mike. Maybe I need to look at getting my irons fit better. So, leading into from what he was talking about, maybe go into that. Maybe it could be the strike and everything is sound, but the timing of the shaft, lie, whatever it might be, is just causing it to just askew just a little bit. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Now, the irons you have now, Were you fit for those, or did you buy them based on specs you knew from other fittings?
I bought it I bought it with specs that I had from a previous fitting. But the difference is, since my previous fitting, which was four years ago, and of course I'm going through some swing changes, and so there's a couple different things going on there. Swing changes, older, different style of, swing a little bit. So that's why I think it's time I need to probably go in and get it retinkered and figure out if it's a lie angle or a shaft thing. That's what I'm leaning, or which we didn't touch on, which we'll get into obviously later, is just even grips, like how much that affects everything. Um,
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, Mike and I were texting just the other day, already scheduling the next time he's going to come on because there's so many things we just didn't talk about. So, but before we even get into that, well, what else? So you played Medeiros. I know you spent some range time with the wife. How'd that go?
yeah. Oh, that was fun. But before I get to that, so the day I played Medeiros, finish up, do all that, that was the day we had to get the U-Haul to load up the rest of the stuff.
Oh,
And then it was rough. Wednesday was a total relaxed day. Thursday flew up from San Diego to Sacramento area and caught up with the toddler. Haven't seen him in a week. So did all that. And I know I texted you and found out like he was sick. Got
yeah.
a
I know you were saying that.
virus from the extended family that they visited. And then, gosh, I'm going to tell you this right now. Whatever he had, something is still bugging him. Today was probably his best day since I've been here, which is a week. So I came in Thursday. Friday, I was feeling okay. Saturday morning, I woke up, fever. My body hurt like no end. Every muscle, everything. And I'm like, did I get what he got? And I literally saw him within 48 hours, or just a basic travel bug, or did I overwork my body the whole week? Again, something we could get into with fitness and prepping, getting into that. So Saturday, I was laid up in bed, couldn't move, didn't want to move. And then by Sunday, feeling real good. It was like still off, but like picked up. But it hit my brother, hit his daughter, hit my other brother, and Peyton.
Jeez.
Because Hale came in Saturday. They left. They fast and quick, both ends.
So I didn't realize Peyton was there either.
Yeah, she flew out for the weekend, and
Okay.
gosh, I mean, I almost was like, she called like here 11:30, so it was 1:30 on her bathroom floor. I was like, if we can't get a hold of Buddy, I might have called you to like, hey, she's kind of scared and freaking out a little bit. Can you go check on her, make sure she's gonna be good?
Yes.
Everything worked out. My brother-in-law got over there, but yeah, it was crazy over the last this last week. Catching all the way up to this week, yeah, had a little range session with the wifey. That was fun. Getting her out there, she's having fun, just giving it a go. It really helps take you back to when you were first learning about just how I think we take advantage of some of the stuff now, just
Mhm.
where we're at, and just not realizing like, wow, maybe I've done so long, it becomes automatic. And then now trying to bring it back for someone who's very new to the game, trying to explain it all and do it all within a very short window. Like I said, we just jumped out during nap time, and then got out today, which was fun. And she enjoyed it. She wanted some videos, so I don't know if we'll put them up. She'd be like, "No, I don't want to do that." But I remember when we started this whole process, she's like, "I'm going to the PGA store. I got a whole shopping cart of cute outfits I'm gonna try on and try to like." It was a stack, like I don't know. I mean, you see, like it was a stack. It's huge. Ended away with I think one outfit for sure. Two she bought, but she returned it, realizing like how much it was. Yeah, but it was a fun day.
Yeah, no, it's always fun when someone gets into it when you're teaching them. I know you and I have talked about this some with my oldest getting into it. You start to, I guess, almost reteach yourself because there's times that I'm teaching him what to do that in my head it kind of clicks. I'm like, oh, I need to be doing that too, like
Uh,
connection of your arms or take it back slower or focus on, whatever it is. And you start to realize, oh, shoot, I've been a little lax in that. Maybe that's why I'm doing it. And I'll fix my own swing just in teaching him a little bit. So it's always fun teaching someone and seeing how they can progress. And I think Mike said it last week too about putting. It's the easiest one to really see people
uh,
start to get better at. So you get a little bit of that, just a good feeling when you start seeing someone hit the ball well or putt better.
Yeah, you do. And they get it too. It's that golf bug. They get there, they're like, well, I don't know, I'm just struggling, and then they get that one shot, just something that just reignites that fuel that got them into it, and they're like, oh, okay, I could do this.
The
And
trick is
then
stopping on that shot before you go 10 more shots without another one, and then they're frustrated again.
so we'll dive into a little bit of the mental side too, because I went out semi stress free because we're trying to help her out. She's asking questions, and I'm trying to like be a little more key with my game, and then still being the competitive person I am internally. It was a little hard at times. I got frustrated just with myself because it's like I know I could do better.
Yeah.
Then I realized it's been a week since I touched a club, coming off big move, being
A lot of
sick,
travel. Yeah.
and I was like, dude, I can't do this to myself. I really can't beat myself up like this. But it all felt good when I didn't dunk it, but it rolled out from a bunker for a birdie on a par three.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
so what did you end up shooting at, Medeiros?
So what I finished with like an 85, I think.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
And did you play one more after that? Or
Uh,
am I going crazy?
this was today.
Today, okay.
Today was the one more after, which I didn't really keep a full score because it was kind of like a very just fun time with the wife type thing.
Yeah, I remember. How'd she enjoy it?
But she loved it. She was like, "Oh my gosh, are we just doing nine?" No, we don't come to a course like this and play nine. And she's like, "Where's the cart girl?"
Yeah, it's tough. It's a long commitment, long time. So good for her for at least getting out there.
It was great. She's like, oh, like today we got back and she's like, I'm sore. I'm hurting. And it's like, now I know why you're fatigued after playing. And I'm like, yeah, it takes you out of you, especially if you're new.
Yes, and if it's cart path only, or if it's yeah, it
Yep.
takes a lot.
Yeah, now this one, I love this course, but it's very up and down, a lot of elevation. Even if you hit one of the fairway, you have the cart paths are like 50 feet up. You have to walk down the hillside to some places just to get it. And then, yeah, my hamstrings were killing me by the end. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is beating me up. But yeah, and we purposely set it super early tee time just to make sure toddler was gonna stay asleep, wake up with the grandparents. No, his butt woke up at 4 a.m.
Gosh.
Didn't go back to sleep. So we're trying to get ready, trying to leave the house. He settled down and everything, but it's like, man, it was a rough morning, but it was a good day.
That's good, man. Speaking of rough nights and mornings, and completely off topic, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're at the 4 year sleep regression, if that's even a thing. But man, and maybe I shot myself in the foot because I think it was a week ago we were talking to some friends, and I said, "Oh, we've never had an issue with Bella. She's never gotten out of her bed
I
once they
think you did
transitioned to
mention.
her big girl bed." And yeah, it was on the podcast last week when we were talking to Mike. We were talking about this, and man, past week has just been miserable. I think it's 3 times she's come, and she's just won't come in our room. She'll just stand outside our room screaming and crying. So, and I sleep lighter than my wife does. So I get up with her. But the minute I don't know if she can hear me or what, I open the door and she's gone, and she's sprinting to her room. So like I open her door and she's like climbing in bed. I'm like, oh my Lord. So I was up at 4 yesterday as well after not going to bed till midnight because I was, you know, we have obviously this podcast going, which was
Uh-huh.
awesome and amazing, but we have a day job, right? So it's
Uh-huh.
working all day. I get home at 6, it's dinner time, and then from 8 to midnight, I'm usually working on something, whether it's some content for us. I played earlier this
Uh-huh.
week and got some video, so it's working some of that content, and it's a full second job almost right now, and it's fun and amazing, and I love it, but tired.
Yeah.
Her not sleeping's not helping right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've got one more round out here Friday by myself.
Where are you
So
playing?
Turkey Creek. It's another one I really enjoy. It's a fun one.
You're up in Sacramento area, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't played much up in that general area. Done a handful of Southern California courses between San Diego, LA, and Palm Springs, but nothing north of that.
No, it's fun. The elevation, the scenery, pine trees, which you don't get except for up here. But it is different. Where so like one of our local courses, being super firm greens, especially now things dry out. you hit it front green and we know it's going to release for the most part. But here you have to understand it, you've got to target and it's going to hold or spin back. It's not releasing. And so you have to make that judgment.
That's kind of the comment I made a few weeks ago when we were talking. We're like, Texas isn't, we're not link style, but it kind of does play a little link
Uh-huh.
style ish. Most of the courses, at least that you and I go to, not heavily tree lined. There's going to be some trees. Rough isn't too thick. You can usually play out of it. It's got native stuff. But yeah, you're right. Playing, at least from what I know of, even some Florida golf, but Florida up north, a few courses I've played, and California, you're a lot more technical off the tee because the rough is a little bit thicker and the greens, you can't roll it up to a green, so you got to fly it. And
Uh-huh.
in Texas, if you're in the rough, you have the luxury of, okay, well, I can hit this 15 yards short and it'll probably roll up. And any of those other places, if you can't get a full club on it, you're going to be short of the green and chipping up. And you really got to judge a flyer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was one thing. I mean, I think just because I haven't swung very much in the last week, the irons were a little bit short, but then the wedges today were longer than what I anticipated.
Interesting.
I was just like, what is going on here? 60 yard, whatever, 58. Oh, I got this. I know that feel. I mean, it wasn't a thin, but I think I just had it timed like super well because I'm just in there. Everything just it was very fluid, and you get that quick wisp, a whoosh right at the
Yeah.
bottom, that click, and like I said, I mean they would hit the greens, but just long, and they would plug or backspin. So I was just like, it could work, but I was going too long.
I wouldn't say you're an overly steep player, too. So I wonder if some of it is. I'm assuming the fairways are probably a little not as tight as Texas. Some are fairways,
Gosh, no.
right? So the ball's probably sticking up a little. So I'm wondering if you're catching that fourth, fifth groove instead of the third, fourth groove, which doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but it will in a
You
compression of the
know,
ball. And
it will. I mean, the grass is softer, and some of it was pretty sloshy. Like it wasn't a drainage thing too much. It's just like they just been really overwatering because they're getting ready for the heat to keep it from burning out. So we would be walking in fairway, even on a slightly downhill, you could just feel this ground was sponge.
yeah,
Yeah.
hmm,
So
that's
it's a little
interesting.
bit different. So we'll see how Friday goes.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well.
I hope so. Oh, man. All right. So what's going on with you? You said you got some content range and some footage.
Yeah, I think I've played the most golf or touched my clubs the most over the past week than I have in 3 months. No, I've been pretty lucky. My wife handled kiddos Friday afternoon, so I was able to get around out at Fields Ranch East course, which is where they
Uh-huh.
did the women's PJ Championship this past year, the senior PJ Championship 2 years ago. Played ball, shot 77. It was one of those that I was making it work. The funny thing is, I want to say I made it like 6 holes before I didn't hit a green and reg or something like that, where I was just striking the ball decent enough and I was making it work. I never really felt totally comfortable. I scrapped away a 77, which honestly was probably the best I could have played.
Uh,
I always like to put it in that perspective. Like, did I leave shots out there? I think it easily could have gone the other way and been well over that. But fun round, really windy, and right now I'm not swinging the clubs good enough to flight the ball down.
uh-huh.
So struggle a little bit with that, but wedges seem to be working. So overall, pretty happy. But that turned into Saturday. Woke up, had to go to my son's baseball practice. I was there for 2.5 hours in the morning. Got home, grabbed clubs, went to the range, just to try to get a feel. And I realized that my grip had kind of migrated pretty weak.
Oh.
So I started trying to strengthen that up. My setup's still off. I can feel it. I can feel my alignments off.
Uh-huh.
So I got some work to do. But I started compressing the ball a little bit better. But then I played Monday after work and, just talking holes 10 through 18, bogey 10. But honestly, that was a bad chip. I put, 2 iron to middle of the fairway. Approach shot came up a yard short. No big deal. It should have been easy. Uphill pin. So I should have been able to put it close and I just duffed my chip, missed the putt by a little bit. But then I ended up birdieing 11, had a 6 foot birdie chance on a par 3, hole 12, birdied hole 13, par 5, then 3 putted a par 3. So that hurt. So that put me back to even, on the round. Then the only bad hole I had was hole 15. It was a par 4, tugged my drive OB. So obviously stroke and distance
Uh-huh.
came, so hit 3 from about 180 out in the fairway and put that left, hit the chip, was too far. So, long story short, I ended up somewhere around one over, two over round, three over round. Yeah, I think it was three over. And it was all because of that one hole. Because I think I took a quad on that hole. So just overall didn't, and honestly, the back at Westridge,
Uh-huh.
it's not a lot of drivers.
Uh-uh.
So really, even on 13, I happened to birdie it, but it was just good play after the drive. The drive I pulled left into the other fairway. 15, the next time I pulled driver, pulled it left. So it's
Huh.
driver was a little off for me again. I got some work to do, but it was at least it was a little better ball striking. Now I will say, doing some of the content and going back video, man, I'm falling back on every single shot, like falling back on my
Uh-huh.
right foot. So I've really got to put some drills in to get my weight forward and compressing the ball again. Cause I've been hitting the ball thin for probably 2 months, and I've always just said, "Oh, well, my timing's off. My timing's off." It's not my timing. It's my weight shift, and the cameras kind of showed me that. So I guess that's the benefit of doing this content, huh?
Yeah, she got footage of me, and I'm like, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm like, I know it's gonna be bad. And there's a few times, like I said, with the course today, I had one in the fairway, and even when I put a good swing, I could hear the compression of the ball. I was falling backwards because of the slope.
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't.
well, it's tough, and when you're saying falling backwards, you have slope, you have all these like when I at PJ East, it was windy. I mean, we had 20, 30 mile an hour gusts, so of course I was falling back on some shots. You're shifting your weight, the wind catches your chest, so I didn't think twice of it. But I mean, Monday was 2 mile an hour wind. I mean, there was no wind; it was dead. And I go back and look at everything we're posting, and I'm like, oof, wow, like I am falling back, falling back. Like the only shots that look good are my wedge shots. Those I have good stability, but it's a lot softer. So I know it's a lot of my tempo. I need to slow it down. I know I got some stuff to work on. But to scrap, 77 one round and turn around and do another, three over round, it's getting back to where I want to be
Uh-huh.
for the little bit that I'm touching the club. So not overly mad, just have some things to work on.
Yeah.
And I'm not planning to play. I'm not playing this weekend. We're going out of town next week. So this weekend is getting the house cleaned up and ready, and, and then just heading out that way playing in Florida. So that'll be my next round.
Yeah, just one day.
Yeah, we're only there for 4 days. So I'm playing Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but Saturday after. And, it'll be interesting. It's 12 of us going. So I don't know if it'll be a vibe round or competitive. There's one guy there that's a +3. Him and I played a lot together. So, every now and then him and I will get competitive and put something on it. But, I don't know if that'll be this type of round or if this is just going to be, cause it's for one of our friends' weddings. I have a feeling it's going to be more of a laid back, don't care too much type of round.
So that's best kind. Just it's gonna be competitive, but hopefully stress free from
Yeah.
trying to get a handicap going or maintain a handicap.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. We'll see. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. I'm playing a lot more than I was. I hadn't been touching my clubs that much, all but maybe once a week. Get a couple range sessions in, a couple rounds in over the past 10 days. It's made me feel a little bit better. So we'll get back to it, and I'll try to hit the range this weekend and work through some of this.
Awesome. Yeah. I only got a few weeks, not even that, a week and a half, and then I'm back in the grind and who knows? I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you got work coming up soon.
Yep. It's gonna be clubs are staying in the bag. Only take out one or two every so often.
Yeah. Well, speaking of clubs, what are some key takeaways that you got from Mike?
So yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just, again, understanding the irons. Like, if you're gonna go anywhere with any gear, anything like that, irons are gonna be the first place that you hit them the most at any time, aside from the putter. Just like, that's why we have talked earlier briefly, just saying, like, I probably need to get my stuff readjusted just because, for the most part, I've always found very good play off the tee, playable positions. I'm in a spot where, okay, I could go for the green, or I should be able to go to the green, and then it doesn't pull left, but it's snap draw a little bit, and it's just left edge, or it just catch it a little bit off with the ground interaction. Maybe it leaves the toe open and then it fades out. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe if I get it fitted and adjusted a little bit better, get a better that interaction will help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to say I didn't take anything away from that conversation, but I've been through the fitting process a lot, and I like to say I'm a light fitter. I know enough about it. I don't know all the weeds of some of these manufacturers and their own shafts, but generally know it works for my game, right? But it's really interesting talking to these guys and figuring out exactly what you're just talking about, because you have your shaft profiles, but you also have offset in the clubs, and
Uh-huh.
the more offset you have, the more time the club has to release, even if we're talking milliseconds here, which is going to help someone not slice it or not this or not that. So I can't wait to have him on and get a little more technical about exactly what he's looking at, because I think for me being a golf nerd, it's amazing. For
Uh-huh.
some of our listeners, I'm sure they're going to, probably tune out for an hour, but it's interesting to see what these guys think of, because the more you're aware, the more we're aware, the better you are at the end of the day. And the more it's all about teaching yourself, right? On the range, okay, well, I pulled that one. What was it? Why? How did I do that? And you can start to kind of triage your own issues, which you're going to spend a little money getting clubs fitted and lessons and all this, but ultimately you save money because you learn how to figure out these things on your own.
You actually brought up a good point that I didn't even think about, but I know of it is, yeah, when you said last week, where we talked about how you got a 6-iron game improvement versus a 6-iron mid range player distance, how much that offset is. And surprisingly, how much that does affect, how that club is going to come through, the timing of the club, and just seeing, like, didn't even think about it as much. But I know the ones I got recently I know they're not much different in offset from what I previously played. That's why I gravitated to them, because I didn't want to do a huge shift.
Uh-huh.
But, even a couple millimeters, slightly different head design, head weight, gets that shaft bending a little bit differently with the way I'm swinging now. That's could be why it's deviating more than what I'm used to. Because, I mean, I could sit back and say right now, I was more confident in hitting the greens and reg with my 7th pitch blades than I do with these cabinet backs.
Well, absolutely. And I think too, what people have to realize is there's so many nuances within the club head itself. You have your offset, you have your lie angle. The third components to that, well, I guess third and fourth, you have CG, right? Which is exactly what you were talking about. How do we get the ball higher in the air? But you also have loft. And in today's day and age, a 6-iron isn't all the same. And people don't always realize that. So, like, when I have someone ask me and I'm playing with them, hey, what club are you hitting? I tell them yardage. I don't tell them club.
Uh-huh.
It's not because I'm secretive. It's not because I can hit it farther or less than them. I tell them what yardage I'm playing, because not all lofts are the same. My 6-iron is not the same as someone else's 6-iron. My loft is, from a game improvement perspective, could be 6 degrees more with players' clubs versus game improvement. But, so someone's 6-iron might play like my 4-iron.
Uh-huh.
So if I tell them it's a 6-iron, they might miss the green, right? So people don't realize that. And maybe some people do. Maybe I'm generalizing the population, but a large majority of people I have found don't understand that game improvement has a higher, or I'm going to say more weight moved back in the club to get the ball up in the air, but it's lofted less
Uh-huh.
so that you can get more distance out of it. And that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's a huge one. And then the second thing that he touched on, which we could probably spend a whole nother episode on, is finding the correct ball, because not understanding the ball that you're using changes everything. Because I've played with guys, like, they hit it like, oh my gosh, why didn't that spin back? Or why didn't that check up? Or, whatever it is. And I'm like, well, you're using a 2 or 3 piece, kind of a semi-hard cover ball. That's not going to hold your green. Like, it's meant for you to get distance. Like, it doesn't have the spin control that you're looking for. And then the other side of it, of course, would be coming down to technique, things like that, which we've talked about, try to increase spin while short chip shots. But as a general rule, you have to have the right ball for the correct iron. So you could hit whatever, let's say, get the same loft game improvement that's set up as your 7-iron. Same lofts, but because they're designed differently, I guarantee you probably will benefit better from a different ball than what you currently play.
Yeah, absolutely. So much of that depends on exactly what you said, who you are as an individual. Also depends on where you're playing a lot. Like, so Texas, the majority of our public course greens are not going to check. So you're relying more on descent angle. I'm a pretty high ball flight player. When I'm looking at fitting balls, Mike says to work green back. And I 100% agree. But in my perspective, I don't necessarily care about 50 yards and in because our greens aren't spinning. So I'm not worried about overspin on a ball coming back. Right? And I'm also not too worried about it rolling out a little bit because all greens roll out here. It's just a matter of how much, and you start to gauge that. So I get a club that works well for my scoring irons or a ball that works well with my scoring irons and my driving. But driving is most critical. I don't want something that spins too much because I want to be able to hit up that penetrating shot. And I want a ball that's gonna, do what I need it to. I have pretty low spin irons as it is. So I like to play a little bit, which is why I play the Pro V1X is low launch, high spin, a little bit high spin ball so that it kind of mitigates the low spin setup in my irons. So it's 100% correct that that is important to have.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of people overlook it or just go get any ball. And it's there. And to his point, you can go cheap. Go buy a $20 box of balls or $10 box of balls. Hit some Nike Mojos from 15 years ago. I don't care.
I already did that.
It's just
just
love those things,
just
man.
because it
I
was
played
the
them for
name. It was just the name.
man. It was $1 a ball. They were amazing. But yeah, you go play them, and his whole thing was just be consistent because then you know what the ball is going to do off the club. Doesn't matter if it's a hard ball, but if you're hitting a hard ball on one shot and a soft ball on the next, they're gonna act different.
Well, I think we've had this discussion whether I'm fitted in it or not. I just see the most consistency with the Pro V X or the Chrome Tour X. Again, don't know if I should be fitted with those, but I know what's going to happen for the most part. I know what kind of flight, I know what's going to happen when they hit the green. And so that helps with some of the consistency that I know can control and mitigates the scoring a little bit.
Well, there's also some really cool tools out in the world. There's a website called Ball Pneumatic, and you go in and you type in some of your specifics. And if you've done some TrackMan, you have some launch monitor stuff. You go type that in, and it's going to spit you out 4 or 5 balls that should play well for you, and you can go try those. So it's an easy way. The biggest thing is you just have to be aware of your game, right? It's going to ask you, are you shallow? Are you steep? Are you this? Are you that? So you have to have some general awareness of your strike pattern. But outside of that, it gives you 5 options, and you go pick them and move on.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy, but I'm looking forward to having him back. There's so much we didn't dive into, and again, with us being gearheads, there's so much we can talk about. But there's a lot that I feel could be talked about. It spans across everyone. It's not just you and me being gearheads. It's stuff like the offset, stuff like the loft, maybe new trends that are coming out. Difference between player cavity backs, player muscle backs, all the way to distance, or more forgiveness, less forgiveness. So there's so much we can go down in that. Plus, he was a good time to have on. He's always
He's always fun.
He's a wealth of knowledge. So I love talking to him. Well, good. What do you got going on this coming week outside of that?
So let's see. This coming week, I got that final round on Friday. I think we're gonna go do some family time with the zoo and then check out some more downtown areas, and then we head back out on Monday morning.
Awesome. Well, good. I'll be granted you get back and I leave, but hopefully we'll be able to get out soon here.
Yeah.
Well, let's one thing we talked about, and I want to close the conversation here with is we have talked, I think, on both episodes, 3 episodes now, about some level of course etiquette, some level of there's a lot of new people coming in and enjoying the game of golf, which is absolutely awesome, and it's finding the right time to come out. When do you get out and try to play and learn? Because there's no getting around. You're going to have beginners playing on a course at some point. So, I thought I'm going to steal my wife's idea, actually. And you said that your wife kind of said the same thing is, take 5 minutes and talk about some level of a course etiquette that hopefully our listeners can learn from and share. So we're going to talk about how to speed up pace of play, especially when it comes to cart etiquette. So what is something that you see when you're playing a group ahead of you that every cart seems to be doing? They're watching each other hit the ball, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it seems common sense. Maybe it's because I grew up playing. If you're in a cart, the whole point is pace of play, and we all want to watch each other play. But if we are playing slow and if we have people pushing behind us and we know it's our fault, why aren't people doing what they should be, which is drop someone off with their club, let them hit, and you go, hit your ball, or at least get your yardage, or hey, drop me off at my ball. I'm going to look for my ball while you go hit your ball, then come back.
Yeah, that is. And again, I don't know if that is, I guess we call it the new age golfer, or is it just a bunch of guys who've been dabbling in golf for a while who just don't care and just were never properly told. But it is something that, even if you and I are trying to go out and even not be super competitive, whatever rounds, you know, we like to feel a rhythm. And then, of course, if you get up to a tee box and then you've got these guys just sitting there, just taking their sweet time, and one guy is 50 yards to the left and the other guy is, you know, 20 yards behind him on the right, they're, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand their thought process to sit there and watch and then drive all the way over and then drive all the way back. I don't understand what goes through their process. You know, the ready golf concept is kind of faded, I think, to a lot of these guys.
Yeah, it shocks me because we're all sitting there. No one wants to sit and wait to hit. No one wants to, be a slow player, but it just doesn't make sense to me that we're not, dropping someone off and moving on to the next one. It doesn't really matter who's closer to the hole sometimes. But yeah, making golf faster and working on pace of play has got to happen because we can't continue to have 4.5, 5 hour rounds because that's time away from our kids. And it doesn't take 4.5, 5 hours to play golf. As much as some people want to say it does, it doesn't.
Yeah, no. And to that point, there's where some guys I would play with, and they're just like, oh, that's just, and these again are old retired guys. They're just, they don't care. They're just like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And then, you know, our side of it is like, well, we still have other duties, family responsibilities that, you know, we want to come out and enjoy golf, get into a rhythm, but, you know, you got to figure out what's going on. And then the other part of it is just some guys take their time with the carts because they're trying to coach or help somebody, you know, and they're sitting there just coaching them, going through their whole shot routine, and then they go to their ball. And if you're teaching someone to play golf, that's kind of something that you kind of have to teach as well. Just, hey, this is what you're going to have to do, play it, or let me go hit my shot first, and then we'll come over. You know, find ways to kind of speed it up and don't be rude about it. Because we've ran, like last week at the course San Diego, the group in front of us was pretty rude about us. They were like, sorry, not sorry that we're playing slow. I'm like,
Yeah, I
what's that
mean, and
about?
for me, there's a time and place. I think the absolute best time to take beginners out is twilight rounds. And if I go play a twilight round, I expect slow play. I mean, shoot, I think I played 9 holes. It was probably a few weeks ago now. I played 2.5 hours, 9 holes. Like it was a long round. And we barely beat the sun, but it's a bunch of beginners. It's a bunch of guys playing with their wives or bringing their kids out. And I'm good with that. I'm happy. I love to see that. One thing, if I go play like on a Sunday morning, sometimes Case will be like, well, you got to take any of the kids with you. No, because I can't have my daughter running around the green putting when we're trying to hurry off the green, or I can't tee up, my oldest 150 yards away for him to play. So, but I'll do that all day in a twilight round. I don't care if I get, 7 holes in, I'll let them play through. I'll let anyone play through. I'll play slow and I'll enjoy it. And that's why I'm there. So, pace of play is a huge deal. I think it turns off a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
And the best way we can do that is a little bit better card etiquette, and then just, realizing, when you should go get out and play, and if you do and can only get out on a weekend, how can you try to be a little quicker, right? Yeah, we'll slowly mix in these course etiquette, and it's not to throw any, shame on anyone, or I want as many people to play golf as can play. I think it's an amazing sport. There's a reason I do it. There's a reason I want my kids to play. It's just a matter of learning the proper etiquette so we can be faster on the course. We can take care of the course better. We can have a little bit more fun doing it. So hopefully we'll find a couple of these things to talk through, and people can learn a little bit from us. But anything else?
I think we're good. I think a good spot to end on.
Good. Well, we appreciate it. Remember to give us a like, listen, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Insta. You can reach us at scramblingdads@gmail.com. Glad to talk about anything you want. Until next week.
Yep. See you on the next tee.